Shut up and sit down.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to GCast. It's been a little while, but we're back doing another show where we talk about stuff. And boy, do we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm looking at all our tabs that I have open right now for topics and whatnot. But it has been a little bit since we did one of these, so kind of just wanted to bring everything back up to speed, I guess. Talk about what we've been up to, what we've been doing. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Bobby's the only one that's been bringing content really to the channel lately while we're all busy. So yeah, Bobby, plug your shit. Tell everyone what you've been doing.
So lately I've been doing a Let's Play of The Last of Us Part 2. I just finished it yesterday, and it ended up being a 20-part series because the game's long as shit. And I really liked it. I can't wait till we do another Gcast about that. That'll be super cool.
Yeah.
And what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, you kind of already mentioned it, but we're planning on doing like a dedicated Gcast for Last of Us Part 2 because it's a lot to unpack. Bobby and I have both finished it.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers are a huge factor. But Bobby and I both finished it. Colin just got it. And
just got it.
Like,
downloading on the console right now
as we speak. And Greg, as the one who does not own a PlayStation, has been watching Bobby's playthrough.
I've been watching Bobby's playthrough through it. So, and I'm on episode 12 right now. So, yeah, been enjoying Bobby's playthrough, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing the end of it.
Yeah, and so we can all talk about it. How much we
yeah
fucking hate it. Well, not really. We're not going to feed into the rage, but you'll have to watch that episode to find out how we really feel. We'll tell us how you really feel. How we really feel? We'll tell you how you really feel.
So better like it.
Here in the month.
So yeah, that's what Bobby has been up to. Anything else?
Yeah, I was going to say, in the world of Gundam and Gunpla, I'm in the middle of building RX-7801, the local type. I'm super stoked about that. It's my first RX-78. And I know we have the 30-minute missions project we're working on. That was my first one. I've come a long way since then. I think I've built about 10 now.
That's crazy.
Bug.
Yeah, I caught the bug big time. So I'm pretty stoked. I like it a lot. It's good.
Maybe
fun.
we'll do like a separate video, just like on an update on all the builds you've been doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm totally up for that.
Cool. We can even do its own Gcast, like just talking about all the kits we've been working on.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to have to do something for the 30-minute missions thing that we have going on. I know everyone's at different spots on that, but I think we're all approaching some moment of completion. That sounds phallic, but
I have it sitting on my desk right now.
yeah. Well, Colin and Bobby, you're both technically done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I finished super early because I did not do any painting.
Yeah. I just started putting paint down on mine. I finished the gun way early, and then I just stepped away from it. But yeah, we'll have something for those, dedicated video for those. We've been promising that for a little while now, but we're actually going to do it. If you believe us.
I'm curious, Bobby, real quick. Since if anybody pays attention to our social, they would have seen that you had recently like done some Gundam marker work, like you messed with some Gundam markers and stuff.
Yes, I
And I was
did.
wondering if you maybe like had a second thought about your 30-minute mission post using those Gundam markers.
Well, just to reference what he's talking about, I did good old Barbatos here. I added I painted the red in on his shoulder. Actually, technically, Colin and I did. He monitored me, and so he supervised. And the yellow as well right here, and the pretty much the red there, and then there's some panel lining going on all over the place. Super fun. I never painted anything, and that was just with Gundam markers. But it's super fun, super easy to do. So for someone like me who just does not like painting, it made it painless. So, because I have zero desire to paint. What did you ask me before, Greg?
I was just wondering if like maybe you want to put some kind of marker on one of your other projects. Or,
yeah, no, absolutely.
Like,
I did it on Gray's and also I was thinking about, well, maybe not with the markers, but I wanted to get the other markers that are better for panel lining, the thin ones that you have, Colin. And I want to do some panel lining on my 30-minute missions now. Now that I've experienced it and it's not so bad, but
it's painless.
It was so scary.
It's as painless as you make it.
Yeah. So I think I'd like to do some panel lining on that just to give it a little more some. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. So I keep looking at it. It's right above my desk.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, cool.
All right, cool. So who's next? Who else has been doing something they want to talk about?
Yeah, so I have been busy as hell.
Yeah.
That's it.
But you know, I'm here and I've been starting to work on my 30-minute mission again. Like Brendan, I kind of stepped away from it for a little bit. But I don't know, something got me going. I was like, I gotta get some paint on here. So I've gotten like all the base coats down. I think I mentioned it in like one of the past vlogs, which sorry for those not coming out anymore. They're being reformatted. But yeah, like I was doing an effect on some of the outer armor on these pieces, and so that's complete. So I've gloss coated my whole kit and went out and bought some metallic paints today.
Huh. Doesn't look like anything.
Yeah, right. Damn. Looks like vomit.
Pretty much.
But yeah, no, I bought some metallic paints. I'm gonna do some detail paint and get my 30-minute mission wrapped up. Dude, how many days left on that? Like,
it doesn't matter anymore.
7 days.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Got 1 week. Your time starts now. Go.
But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. I've been really wishing I had my Elgato here because I've been wanting to play some Halo. But other than that,
I broke it. I just smashed it.
You broke my Elgato?
Yeah, I was like, he's not taking this. I'm just gonna smash it.
Oh man!
No, it's actually sitting in front of me in pieces. No, that's gonna get mailed back to you soon.
Yeah, well, I'll be in New York soon, and
oh well, then fuck you. You can come get it yourself.
I don't know what the deal is with the whole traveling to New York and quarantine and stuff, but that is not a topic for GCast.
No.
What do we have to talk about?
To update you.
All these damn governors.
What are you talking about now? Are you talking about governors? What?
No, never mind. We gotta move on. Plenty of topics.
I'll just cut that whole part out. I'll just put in a clip of that Rivers of Nile video that I was playing before. Guy waving his arms around. So yeah, what Greg's been up to, what Colin's been up to. Colin, yeah, wait, no, Colin, what have you been up to?
Basically, besides being busy with work and everything like that, I've been really focusing a lot of my time on building. I just completed the 30-minute mission, which I really like the way that came out. If you guys really are in tune with our social media, that went up on my Instagram along with the G-Side's Instagram. So if you guys want to take a little sneak peek before we make our video, my final shots are on there. Also, I've been working on the RG Evangelion, the Unit 01. That thing is amazing. I got the DX set, so that comes with the transport platform and everything like that.
DX.
So yeah. So I'm in the middle of building that, like in the way that came out. I ordered the water slide. Can't wait to take pictures.
Say that again, Colin. Right after you said I got the water slide, I lost your audio.
Okay. I got the water slide decal, so you know, given that project basically 110%, and I also got a couple boxes and a few things that I was going to take pictures of. Basically, I did an order off of Mandarake, which is basically an import site.
Mandrake.
Mandrake. I got a couple of the Ultraman figure arts. Basically, I got this one, Antlar, and Dada. So pictures of those are going to go up on my Instagram. Some of my favorites from the original Ultraman series. So
I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to getting some pictures from you with that Ava and the AT field.
Speaking of pictures, Colin and I were experimenting with the Photoshop mobile app, and that thing is a godsend, specifically for Colin because he doesn't have a computer to use regular Photoshop with, which I have, and I was able to figure out some of the way that thing functions. And dude, we have made we managed to do some cool shit in the Photoshop.
Oh, absolutely. Bringing the pictures to the next level, because basically before I was just doing everything, you know, taking straight up shots,
all practical
lightings, practical effects, stuff like that. Really in the spirit of Tokusatsu, right? It's all practical effects. But, you know, we gotta bring it into the modern era. We're moving forward, strides forward in the world of G-Sides.
Yeah, you can have a healthy dose of both, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the future.
Both have their merits.
All
right, so anything else you wanted to mention that you were doing, Colin?
Starting The Last of Us soon.
Well, he said that. Is it done downloading yet? Is it done yet?
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
He's across the fucking room.
Right, let's not tempt you. Be like, oh, it's done downloading. Like, hang on, I gotta go do something. I gotta go take a 4-hour shit. All right. So then that just leaves me, and I've been doing the most nothing I have ever done in my entire life. And by nothing, I guess that means playing Persona 5 Royal mainly. I found a way to still go to school during the pandemic, and that is by playing Persona 5 Royal. That said, it's a Japanese high school, but, you know, I'll take what I can get. Yeah, I've just been playing that. I never finished the original one, and I've actually really been enjoying the remake. That, and obviously I finished The Last of Us. So as soon as I finished that, I went over to Persona 5 Royal, and hopefully I can finish that before Ghost of Tsushima comes out in the middle of this month, and then I'll be playing that on the channel. Yeah.
Oh man, I want.
I would love to get you in on that Let's Play, like whenever you're available and I'm playing it, because I feel like you might have a lot to say about it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say they would be like full words or sentences.
Yeah.
I just figured you would have noises to make.
I can definitely provide plenty of noises for that Let's Play.
Good, perfect. That's what this channel aims to provide. Whatever the opposite of ASMR is.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that, and I barely put a little bit of paint on my 30-minute mission. That's been about it, I guess.
I've actually been curious about that because I wanted to definitely get an update on your build. Seeing as Colin's done, and I just kind of picked mine back up this week.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see where you were at because I couldn't even really see the paint job that you did through the
on the weapon.
From the build and chill.
Yeah. Because I hadn't painted the actual suit yet. On the when we were doing that build and chill. Yeah, no, I just have a little bit down on it right now. I'm trying to figure out a way to like make it look sandy, which I think I'm gonna look up some tutorials on.
Dry pigments.
Dry pigments.
Yes.
Okay. Those two words will make sense to me once I figure out what they mean. Yeah, I was just gonna look up some tutorials or something. Just trying to make it look like it's been like out in the desert for too long or something.
Word. Texture, like weathered, like.
Yeah, like literally like weathered though, like been out in the weather, you know? And that weather is a sandstorm.
Like accumulated sand.
Yeah, I can't do it at the right pitch. Yeah, so that's, you know, beginning stages for making that happen. And we'll see where that goes. That, and I've been watching anime, so, you know, just all the usual nerd stuff, just with an exponent next to it because I haven't been able to really leave the house.
Damn.
You jealous, bro?
A little bit. Definitely like not reaching a maximum nerdness, and it hurts.
Slacking, brother.
So what's first on the list of discussions?
Yeah, I think we're going with the Goonpla.
The Goonpla.
Yeah. Since we're talking about our builds, we might as well just talk about what will probably be one of the craziest builds of 2020, right? That's when this releases, like December?
Yeah, I believe so. That thing?
There it is.
Yeah.
Damn! So tell us what we're looking at.
So we are looking at the newly announced, newly trademarked Master Grade EX line from Bandai, and this is the first in the line, a Master Grade unicorn Verka, so designed by Kotoki, and yeah, basically like Bandai came out, they did a presser, they talked about the Gunpla Evolution project, which was in 2019. Bandai was like, we're gonna make an innovation in each of our Gunpla lines, and then they did a kind of like a presser, and they were like, all those innovations we did, we're going to combine them all into one product, and this is basically what you're seeing right here.
Right.
It's going to be, so yeah, this is Master Grade, so it's 1/100 scale. Hi, Les. What's going on?
Me?
Yeah.
What is going on with you?
I'm making a video.
Why?
Oh God, that's a tough question.
People on the internet, I guess.
Because it helps my self-esteem. Makes me feel better about myself.
All right, I'm just gonna keep going. So yeah, we're basically looking at. This is why I can't do things, guys. This is literally.
That's why we can't have nice things.
This is it. There we go.
Is there a word?
So yeah, this is the Master Grade unicorn.
Unicorn. Got nice. It's got good calves.
Dude, I really like the leg design. I'm not gonna lie.
The whole design is great. Like even in unicorn mode, like all the LEDs, everything shines through it really bright, giving it a nice silhouette. There's not too much bad that you can say about it. $230 this thing is?
Looks like it's retailing in the US around $230, which is expensive.
Yeah.
That's definitely looking into like going into the perfect grade, the high end of the perfect grade range. So yeah, I don't know, but I mean, it looks like it's going to be literally the ultimate unicorn Gundam.
Definitely the definitive unicorn. If people like were waiting to basically save up for the perfect grade unicorn, basically with all the lighting and everything like that, that's a pretty penny. But something 1/100 scale, or there's people waiting for like a 1/100 basically master grade 2.0 for the unicorn. This is it.
Yeah, and so that's what I was going to say. A lot of people, this kind of addresses a lot of the problems with the current unicorn lineup. With the perfect grade, you had the LED, but the master grade out of the box really wasn't great. Had a lot of articulation and like weight issues. I never built one, but I heard a lot about that, and I don't even know about if it even had a transformation mechanic or not. But basically, what you're going to get out of this is the transformation very reminiscent to the real grade, which I have built, and I can speak firsthand how awesome that kit is. So basically, what we're looking at is just like a scaled up real grade with the kind of perfect grade lighting system in it. So, and they came out with a lighting version of the real grade, but it was static. It was like it had no articulation. So again, like this is going to answer that. So you're going to get the full lighting package. And I did some research. This LED does green and red. But any of the other colors that you might have seen in the anime or something are not in this kit, which obviously leaves room for other variants of the unicorn down the line. The Banshee, the perfectibility, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean the lighting, it looks really good. It's designed by Kotoki. It's going to be articulate. It's going to be able to make dynamic poses. It's got the kind of the LED system similar to the perfect grade Exia that they made specifically for that. So it's going to have that like ability that's like soft fiber LED almost.
That flex,
so yeah,
what do they call it? Like flex fiber.
I don't really know.
It's in the promotional shots.
Yeah, I
here
wish
we
I could
see
find
that
some a little bit more high res stuff, but you can see the way it kind of softens, like inside.
Yeah. So but here you can also see just the posing. Like I don't know if the perfect grade definitely couldn't do that. The master grade I don't think could probably do that either. So this is kind of just showing like how awesome this kit could be.
Master grades generally don't come with LEDs, right? That's usually a perfect grade thing, or am I wrong?
I think some master grades are designed to take an LED.
Normally they're like a DX, or like an exclusive one.
Yeah,
okay.
But I think like the unicorn, not the unicorn, the RX Origin master grade and stuff like that.
It had a slot for it. They came out with 2 releases.
Had the slot. Yeah.
One came with it that was like $10 more or something like that, but it's just the standard kind of Bandai LEDs. Just stuck basically in the head.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It looks really good. We'll see. I'm curious to see how it sells, and how people react. I mean, people are, seem pretty neutral on the internet, as far as the reactions for it. So I don't know. We'll see. But it looks really good in my mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the legs, the shape of the legs is like it's so good. That curvature.
Those gams.
Those legs. It also comes with the MS cage, which previously was like a Gundam base exclusive item. So, it does have some incentive to pay that hefty price tag. So yeah, I don't know. The vote is still out on this one. need more pictures, and maybe like nobody's going. There's no expos or anything, but we'll probably see some like in person. These might be CG. These might be a physical model.
Well, these are prototype images. They were the best ones I could find at the moment. When is the actual release?
I was looking that up, but I think it's again in December.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm not seeing it on. It was like on the first page of Gundam Planet. Now it's not. So, but yeah, I don't know. Looks really good. I'm definitely excited to see people get their hands on it. I don't know if I would like it, but I'm not spend that much money. So, for me, this is probably a skip. That being said, though, I'm definitely it is a September release according to Gundam Planet.
Okay.
Earlier. Quick.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what they could do, like down the line, with this line. Like, it's a very like niche thing to like be able to transform and have lighting, gimmicks and like be dynamic and stuff like that. So, in my mind, it's hard to think of kits that would kind of like fit that outside of like the unicorn like mainline kits.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I think Colin was saying something about like a Zeta Gundam.
That would be cool. But also, in some of the other promotional images, maybe we can find those and put those up. There is almost like a grid that it shows, and basically there are certain aspects of the master grid that they had, basically like gimmick, articulation, lighting, and all that. So basically, with this EX line, each individual release in it is gonna accent one of those points. So basically, the next one might not be like an LED basically focused kit. It could be one that is focused solely on transformation, or one that is going to focus mainly on articulation, basically build quality. Say like you get a kit that was just massive in the past and it had stability issues, like they're going to go in and they're going to fix that and they'll put it out in that manner.
But so are those kits worthy of this master grade EX treatment, and are people going to care once they slap that master grade EX price tag on it? That's the question. So
that is the question, but I think how this one is going to be perceived is going to be the future of the line. We'll see.
Like I said, this one comes with the MS cage, which is like, and it's an expensive item, being an exclusive Gundam base limited thing. So yeah, I feel like that's like a good chunk of the price tag there. So is it, will we see one maybe down the line that doesn't come with that, or does it need that because it's so damn heavy that it needs a base that crazy? And will the other kits in the line like stay within this high tier price tag, or will they be cheaper because they might not need all this plastic? You know what I mean? Like, will we see a significant price drop possibly in the next Master Grade EX hit?
Yeah. So it comes with this base, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Which, I don't know I think it was retailing for like $160 or something like that.
The base on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Could be. No, it's definitely not that expensive. There might have been like the one I saw might have been like a special edition or something like that. But
also,
still,
if someone was selling it on the aftermarket, they're accounting for shipping, the exclusivity of the item. So, there's people up there to probably jacking the price up.
Is this when you said the grid, Colin, were you talking about the wiring for the LEDs?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. What are those, like ribbon wires?
That's the like from the perfect grade. If you pulled up like some image from the perfect grade Exia, it'd have a similar thing. And so basically, at the Gump 4 perfect grades, it was that kind of like soft ribbon LED system. And for the real grades, it was the transformation mechanic of the unicorn itself. Or I don't even remember what it was for the master grade. But for the high grades, it was like the joints and stuff like that, like the fine build system, like the Leos are built from. But yeah. All right.
Okay.
I think that's probably enough time talking about
that one kit.
Really unicorn kit.
Yeah.
None of us are gonna buy.
Yeah. Time will tell.
All right. So what's next?
Well, speaking about Bandai new releases and stuff like that, for all you figure fans out there, on July 4th and I believe 5th, there was the Tamashii Nations expo that happened. And then
are you looking at a calendar?
What's up?
His notepad. Are you looking at a
calendar? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes because there's a lot of cool things that they announced. New additions in the SH Figure Arts line. Basically, if you guys are fans of like Dragon Ball, they announced, I believe, some event exclusives for those, like Android 17 and 18. Also, my main focus is I wanted to see the SH Monster Arts. So basically, they announced 2 new Godzilla SH Monster Arts figures. They're actually Re-Colors, and the one I think I'm most excited for is actually the special color version of Biollante.
Yeah.
Picture. Look at that thing. And I think this is great for any collectors trying to get their hands on it. I mean, on the aftermarket, the original Biollante was going on Amazon and a couple other websites for over $1,000.
That's one of the harder kaiju to acquire, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. For a reasonable price. So this one, there's not really too much difference between the original version and this special color version. The main differences that you see is actually like at the base, there's going to be a little bit more of a browner hue towards the bottom of it. Yeah. It's not as green as the original release. Also, the original release had a LED gimmick inside the chest, basically a red LED. So I'm interested to see if I think they're keeping the feature, but I don't know if they're going to change it up in any way.
Man, we were looking at this. Looking at this is bringing back memories of my Trademaster Biollante.
Oh, the Trendmasters one?
Yeah, man.
So cool. So cool.
Such a cool figure with the soft wire tentacles and stuff.
Yeah. What's the one you have behind you, Colin?
This one is the X Plus.
Okay.
So that's the X Plus. So it's bigger in scale.
Right.
This one is from the 25 centimeter line. Yeah. But always want to get my hands on the SH Monster Arts. So basically, this one is going to have a December release. Not too sure when pre-orders are going up.
Behind December 2020 for Japan. U.S. release date to be determined.
Yeah. So sometime probably 2021. Early 2021.
This one, since it is a special color, is probably going to be a web shop exclusive, though. So basically, pre-order windows are going to probably sell out extremely fast. Everybody wants their hands on this thing, and MSRP I want to say is somewhere around the $300 range.
Yeah,
around there.
Yeah, 30,800 on the JP site.
Crazy amounts, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. I am definitely picking this one up. Hey man, I want it for the pictures. I love it. And
cool. Definitely.
And there is the recolored version of the 2001 Godzilla from GMK. That's as you see on the picture right there. Those are basically to the right, top and bottom. So basically, it's essentially an atomic breath version. So you have that nice kind of metallic blue at the base of the dorsal plates. Moving up to that white, also you get the nice effect inside the mouth. This one's probably going to be a skip for me since I do have the original version. But if you guys didn't get your hands on that one, it's definitely a nice variant. I like it. I want to know if they are actually going to have like an extra or anything with that. Maybe an atomic breath part would be ideal for this one, but who knows if they'll give us that. Yeah, who knows? Only time will tell.
Do you have I'm on Big Bad Toy Store. I'm assuming this is the original one, right?
Yep, that's him. I got him.
I was gonna ask, do you have him nearby you?
Open the cabinet. Open the cabinet.
Someone's got his spicy pants on.
I do.
What? I missed it. Oh man. Right.
And that is the original version. So basically, you're just gonna get the different dorsal plates.
Mm-hmm. The blue and the mouth, right?
And then inside the mouth, this one's got a whole lot of
a
whole lot of tongue in there.
Whole lot of tongue.
Whole lot of tongue.
One's got too much tongue, Godzilla. Too much tongue.
Gotta practice, bro.
Yeah, it looks really good though. Love Biolante.
Yeah. So, also from the Tamashii Nations Expo, along with the usual Dragon Ball figure arts. Also, if you guys are heavy Dragon Ball figure arts, they're coming out with the entire Ginyu Force. That's pretty freaking cool. If you're looking for basically a big Dragon Ball display, they're pretty cool. Also, a lot coming out from Star Wars: The Mandalorian. So if you guys are Star Wars collectors, come on, SH Figure Arts, they make some of the best stuff out there. Also, Evangelion. There's the Dynaction 15-inch behemoth. Cue the photos, because this thing sells itself.
Going to get them. Big fucker. Well, let me get the standing one first. That one.
There it is. Look at the beauty.
15 inches, you said?
Yep.
God, it's as big as my dick.
Damn. Actual size, right?
1-to-1.
1-to-1. So this thing, it is not only just, like your standard like BC plastic. This thing has got metal parts too in there. I want to say like the progressive knife that it comes with is a die-cast plastic, and like the centerpiece in the chest, that's all die-cast, as well as like the back is die-cast as well. The poses that you can get it in, it's crazy.
Yeah, I've got that.
That's pretty sweet.
Pick. You mentioned the knife.
Yeah, look at the articulation. Crazy. Attention to detail.
It looks super anime accurate.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. Like the slenderness in the arms and the colors everything is.
When it comes to articulation, my favorite thing is the foot. How like she's just on her toe
got that toe bend. Yeah,
I love that.
Got that toe bend, but unfortunately, I think I won't be getting this one. Just mainly because Biolante comes out same time. I believe this is a December release as well. Plus, the Bandai Spirits has all the Evangelion, the real grades coming out. So
yeah,
it's like, are you gonna double dip or there's also the robot spirits coming out too. So
yeah, this looks like a scaled up Kotobukiya kit with that big ball joint in the arm.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think for me, stylistically, I prefer the real grade. But I mean, you can't argue with 15 inches as far as scale goes.
Yeah, but also the detail in the mouth, like in that shot.
Yeah,
that
looks pretty nice.
It's phenomenal, and basically, if you only have to have one Unit 1 in your collection, this is a great option.
For sure.
Segue, another new addition to the SH Monster Arts line that was dominantly, Godzilla figures. They are branching out and they are doing monsters from Monster Hunter. Definitely one of my favorite video games to come out in the last year, basically Monster Hunter World. These figures are based on their Monster Hunter World designs, and they are looking fabulous. Take a look at Rathalos.
They look amazing.
This is what's gonna finally get me to buy an SH Monster Arts. Like, this is what's gonna do it.
Hey man, get your order in now. I feel like that one's gonna go
I'm sure it will. But I'm also like anticipating what else is gonna come down the line in the line. Is it just
this one? Because then you'll support the line.
Yeah, true. Unless it sells out, and then I can't.
Hungarian Horntail?
Yes.
Yeah, so this
this was not the first announced. They had initially announced the Nargacuga. So, I feel like they're gonna really be careful with the big announcement, like the big name announcements. And space those out pretty far apart. So,
I mean, these are two fan favorites. So,
absolutely.
I mean, they're fan favorites from the series, but yeah, they might also be anticipating big. I mean, a ton of people, their first Monster Hunter game they ever played was World. So, a lot of those they might be thinking are going to sell maybe even better. Than some of these.
These figures look awesome. Brendan, you were saying that this might be the first thing to get you to buy a Monster Arts figure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm definitely like fighting the urge to pick one up. But mainly, it's huge. What is it, the 15-inch wingspan or something on that?
On the Rathalos?
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's pretty big.
So. Yeah, it's a big boy, but I think it would look awesome on the set for sure. So
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, Nargacuga was definitely a fan favorite.
Yeah, pre-World. That's what I was going to say right before we broke off for a second. He was DLC in World, right?
Yeah, he came out. I don't know if he was pre-Frostborn or not.
No, I don't remember him.
Yeah, he's Iceborn.
But either way,
Iceborn.
I feel like just when they announced the figure, I was definitely underwhelmed at him in particular, and was kind of surprised. I think Colin and I were both a little surprised they didn't just lead with the Rathalos announcement.
Yeah, I was so hyped up for the Rathalos that when I saw it, I was like, oh, I was just disappointed. I hyped myself up for Rathalos, but then they finally announced it.
It did not disappoint. So
yeah. See, that's my thing though. Like, I really like that Don't get me wrong. The Rathalos looks great, and I love Rathalos. They'll probably do a recolor of it too for the Azure Rathalos.
For sure.
But for me, like, there was just, I mean, World wasn't the first Monster Hunter game that I played, but it was definitely my favorite. And there was a few new additions that I think I would rather get if they're going to continue the line and have more SH Monster Arts, like Otogaron or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd love to get fucking one of those.
Also, I should add that the accessories between these two are a little different. Or if you cut back to that Rathalos, the flying Rathalos pic.
Well, that's the one I downloaded. I can pull up some other promotional images too, but
well, here you can see he's got the fire effects coming out of the mouth there.
Yeah,
that's all that I believe you get. Well, I think he has two sets of wings. But
there's the ground wings. There's those ones. There's also
as far as accessories, I think that's it. Like,
and the stand, you get the unique stand.
The fire breath. Whereas the Nargacuga comes with I don't know if I'd call it a shit ton, but like the Nargacuga has the gimmick of the detachable tail, and also includes a 2-scale
the mini
hunter figure, which I really wish they would include a hunter figure with this. I would love it if each iteration had like a different kitted out hunter.
Yeah.
Because it'd be sick to get like a bowgun hunter or a greatsword hunter, or and I feel like that's another way. That's totally how this is Bandai, Colin?
Yeah, it's Tamashii Nations.
Yeah.
It would be
That's totally how Bandai would operate. They would totally pair an exclusive figure to an exclusive. They'd pair them so it's like, oh, if I wanted the bowgun hunter, I'd have to buy this whether I wanted the monster or not. Like,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, what I would think would be awesome is if with every monster, they would, like, the hunter figure that would come with would be the armor set. They would be wearing the armor set of the monster. That's what I would think would be cool.
I feel like that's too easy. Like, that's too obvious for Bandai to just do that, though.
And that wouldn't make sense because it would be like he's beaten it already. It'd be cooler if it's like
wrath armor, right?
He's never beaten it.
So yeah, I think he's wearing Rathalos armor. Same thing. His sword is a Rathalos sword, the great sword.
But again, like I would love seeing. Either way, I just want to see more mini hunters with this line.
Mm-hmm.
You can just come out with the Pete Bandai set
of like 6 hunters.
Yeah,
that'd be freaking awesome
for like $80.
Seriously though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that covers it for figures. But since we're talking about video game figures, we can jump over to some gaming news. I think.
Yeah, we definitely have some of that. I just wanted to see if I could find a picture of the folded wings. Are they different wings or are they the same wings?
They are. I think they also have articulation.
Because there's articulation here.
Right there, yeah.
No, I think they have articulation, but then if you go to the like fanned out wings, they're different.
This doesn't fold under that?
It totally does. You can see it on the hand there. I'm pointing as if you can see where I'm pointing.
I know. I can feel you pointing.
Yeah, they might be sectioned off.
I think they are.
Basically where that ball is for the.
I mean, it's really
next to the finger.
It's really clean. So it's like.
I think Colin's saying that's a ball, not a hinge.
Yeah.
At the top.
Most of these monster arts, it's all bolt.
Yeah. And honestly, I prefer it to have just 2 sets of wings.
Yeah.
As opposed to like 1 set of wings that couldn't stay in position properly,
Ghidorah 2019.
But yeah, super cool. Cannot wait for one of us to get our hands on this because it looks awesome.
Well, Colin, didn't you order that?
Pre-orders in.
Yeah. For which one?
We'll be getting one.
For the Rathalos?
Both of them.
Oh, both of them. Okay, you're not fucking around.
Both of Rathalos and Nargacuga? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got both of them. If you guys want us to do a review?
Yeah. I was going to say, hopefully we can get you in the set to do a review when that happens.
Please. Thank you.
Brendan. All right. Well, let's jump over to some gaming topics.
Yeah, where do we want to start on that? There's a few different stories.
You guys wanted to talk about the Night City stuff, right? Or the CyberPunk?
Sure, yeah, we're all fucking stoked for CyberPunk, so we might as well talk about that little showcase they did. Everyone here has seen it, right?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't actually watched it.
You basically read like headlines, right?
Yeah, like I heard about this whole brain dancing thing, but I have actually not seen it.
Yeah, that was just kind of one element of the thingy. Let's see if I can put us up there.
You guys let this on, and I'll just watch it, and you guys can talk.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things you had said in response to it was that some people felt like there wasn't a lot of gameplay really in it, which kind of feel like there was.
Yeah,
there's a
from
decent
your
amount.
guys' impressions, I felt the opposite to what I was hearing.
Yeah.
In the general public.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about? Not a lot of gameplay.
That's just what I had heard from Greg and
Yeah.
from some other people that were like, yeah, they didn't show any gameplay. And I was like, there's some gameplay in there.
The reason I didn't watch this was because I actually tuned in live, but I was too late, and I pretty much caught the tail end of the whole thing. And just from reading comments in the live chats and
like this right here is brand new. What we're seeing right now, just they're fast
dialogue.
cuts. Like, yeah, there's no extended. I mean, except for the brain dance sequence.
That was what people were complaining about. They were like, I want to see like a 10-minute gameplay demo, and they were people were saying they showed all this when they could have just made a gameplay, like a 10-minute gameplay demo, like instead of doing all these fast cuts. Just did a continuous thing.
They did talk a lot about the brain dance, and I feel like that was their focus. And I imagine they're going to be making more of these episodes.
They're going to be making a bunch of these. So
and
be
basically,
patient,
I think
folks.
this was way overhyped, is what I'm trying to get at.
That's been a problem lately, all around.
Honestly, what's playing on the screen is one of the things that I'm really excited about is that they're making a CyberPunk anime of Studio Trigger.
Yeah, they've been a busy friggin' studio lately. It's kind of crazy.
Books, tabletops,
anime. Well, I mean, of course, CD Projekt Red, they're always busy, but I mean, Studio Trigger has been friggin' busy too for an anime studio. Like, they just came out with their first feature film. They had BNA, Brand New Animal, or whatever that was.
Did you watch that yet?
I watched like the first couple episodes. Not as good as I was hoping for, but still decent. It's pretty good. What the fuck? Something just flew in front of my face. And I have not seen that feature film yet. I forget the name of it, but it looked like an amalgamation of everything they've done. Like, they took character designs from all their projects and smashed them together. But yeah, I can't wait for this. Their art style, animation style, I think works really well with this because they've always had kind of almost like a neon-esque, like, halo effect to some of their animation that just looks really cool, that I feel like will lend itself to I think he's wearing the shirt from the movie and he's wearing a Brand New Animal shirt, but anyway, just lend itself to the kind of like tone, atmosphere, whatever you want to say, of cyberpunk.
That's what I was gonna say, is I'm excited to definitely see their take on the tone of cyberpunk.
And it's going to be a Netflix anime, right?
I don't know. Yeah, right there.
Yep, there it is. 20.
Because you know what I was thinking of when I see that image, it almost makes me think of the shit. What was it? Oh my god, what's the show with the stacks?
Altered
Carbon, the anime they made for that, like stylistically it almost reminded me of that, but that was another one that they did in the 3D CG, and I don't think Studio Trigger is going to go that route. They typically don't. So I'm like more excited for this one for sure. Also, all the lore they have to work with for Cyberpunk is just
there's so much.
Just a
I mean, any anime. I want to know who's kind of like directing it. I'd like to know on like a deeper level who's writing and who's directing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But either way, super exciting just to know that like Studio Trigger's animation is gonna be like doing Cyberpunk. That's gonna be sick.
And this is where they go into the brain dance segment. They did spend a lot of time on this. It's interesting, but to me it's also kind of nothing new. We've seen like a lot of the detective mode functions for a while.
Right. That's what I had said. It reminded me of the detective mode in Arkham Knight for Batman.
What it reminds me more of is I don't know if you guys played like Detroit Become Human, the Quantic Dream game. But there's like segments where one of the characters you play as can like literally break down a scene based on evidence that he finds and like go into a third person kind of view and find the trajectory of a bullet and where someone landed based on the trajectory of that bullet and blood on the floor, whatever.
Batman's detective mode. You did the same
Right.
thing.
Yeah, no, it does. It's really similar, but that one, the Batman one, you were still like walking around as Batman finding the stuff.
Right. Yeah.
With
yeah.
The one in Detroit, it like detached itself and became like a out of body camera,
God mode camera.
Yeah, kind of. So that's why it reminds me of that a little bit more. But that, I mean, the point of that is that it isn't really anything new. It's just the next step in the evolution of that kind of mechanic, I guess.
And they created lore behind it as well. It's not just a detective mode. What do they say? Like it's something that's all like used in media. Like it's used for basically like movies and like adult movies because it allows the character to get all the sensations and the feelings of the person they're watching.
Well, it originally had like less nefarious purposes, but that's what it ended up being. But they didn't create that lore. They're just pulling from the original source material from the original tabletop game. And that was a function that was in it already, the brain dance. And they just figured, how can we turn that into a mechanic? How can we use that as a storytelling device? And that's what they ended up doing here, obviously. And that was one thing they made a point to say, like, this isn't just like a thing you're going to find for collectibles or little things in the background. Like, we're going to use it to tell character stories and advance the plot, whatever. Which I believe. I don't know. It's just, again, it's not, it's ground that's been tread before, just like a little more advanced. So I don't know. It's something I would have to get my hands on to really tell if it's fun or tedious.
It's just like another card in the deck for CD Projekt Red and for CyberPunk, I think. And I think it's really like how that deck is going to play once we see all the cards and once we like figure it out.
Yeah,
that's really where it's going to shine.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be more puzzle-like. Like it'll really test the players' like critical thinking and their own, I guess in a way, their own like detective skills, essentially. Because this here you can see is basically the tutorial for it. Probably the first time you use it in the game.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So I imagine later on you're left to your own devices to figure out the clues within it.
To some extent, yeah, I would say so. But it's also like when you think about the lore and where this takes place, you would have to go to like a location that does this sort of thing. So you're always going to have someone there kind of watching over you. So that might be their way of having a fail safe in the back if you just can't figure out what to do.
They'll give you a hint.
A diegetic fucking way to say, like, why don't you try looking over there?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Other than that, it's a pretty cool mechanic. I like it. Because if it is anything like what I was just saying, is like how you are kind of left to yourself to figure it out. Minus the hints, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they did spend a long time talking about this, though. I'm surprised.
They did. I mean,
this is a significant chunk of the whole thing.
Yeah. That's really cool. I'm definitely going to actually go back and watch this.
That was
I think
like the main thing we see in this.
What you're saying, Brendan, it's like, this is not. There's like other games that do this that are like super indie and like not AAA at all. You know what I mean? Like,
this is one thing too. But finish your thought.
Driving? Is that what you're saying?
No, this area outside of the city, this like desert area, the Badlands or whatever they referred to it as, something like that.
Yeah.
That was a nice surprise. I didn't really know that was going to be an element of this game, that there's going to be, like a bigger open world area for you to just dick around in your buggy.
Right.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Looks really cool.
Is it supposed to be in California? I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
Yeah, it's like near San Francisco or something.
Because that looks like Joshua Tree. Those are Joshua trees, but that looks like LA. That would be like outside of LA.
Right. But like they're not using any of the that guy. They're not using any of the existing city names or whatever.
No, but I mean
I'm pretty implied that it's San Francisco.
Right.
Interesting. What was this guy called?
I forget his name.
Big Chungus?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that's it.
Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba.
You just used the word senpai.
I saw that.
I did too.
It said our senpai, Mike Ponsworth.
Loyalist of Arasaka.
Adam Smasher, that's his name. Adam Smasher, because that's not a friggin' pun or anything.
A fully converted cyborg.
Yeah.
So he's like, he's got no people left to go.
He ain't got no people left inside that man. That man, 100% robot.
One random little tidbit I liked is that one this guy, he mentions that like some of his personal notes are gonna be in the game.
Yeah, as
what I did catch live.
What was that?
Greg said that was the one, like one of the parts he did catch live.
Oh.
I was gonna say that, like, I think that's interesting that's in there, but God, the way they did it, like, was just so like scripted. The way they were like, "Why don't you show us some of your notes?" I was just like, "Come on, guys, like, do it like us, fast and loose, so that everything sounds, make yourself sound dumb on the internet." God.
That's half.
I was watching Maximilian Dude's response to this, and it was funny when he pulled out the notebook. He was like, "That's a prop." That's not a real notebook. That's a prop.
Well, yeah, you could see there wasn't actually even real words. Can you scroll to that part
because it's in Polish, and his handwriting is also like serial killer handwriting.
It looked
That's
like
why they did it. They specifically were like, "I want to use the notes of a crazy person."
Yeah,
that's.
It's
it
like
looks
all
like
scribbled out.
It looks like it's scribbled out, right? Yeah, that looks too consistent.
But there is like words under it, I think.
Oh,
he literally explains why it was scribbled out.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally missed that notion.
Because no one cares.
I cared. I thought that was so interesting, and I was like, "What is all that shit?"
Well, that's what my blue sky notes look like.
But like, he doesn't write in paragraphs. He writes in like long sentences on each line, and then does like a new sentence for every line. I don't know if that's like a convention in Polish writing. My only experience with Polish writing is the translations of The Witcher. So, but it's weird. He's a weird dude. They acknowledge that he's a weird dude. So
yeah.
What did they say? They wanted a character who was a psychopath or something.
Yeah.
No judgment, but
it passed it a few. You passed it a few seconds ago. I was gonna say, go back to what they say.
They said they wanted the notes of like a serial killer. That's basically what they said.
Yeah.
We know that is a fact.
This looks sick.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next part of this.
Yeah. More dev diaries, please.
Yeah. Speaking of, might be a good way to transition into the other dev diary we got.
Not as long as this one, but
no, it's only a few minutes, but
RE, I saw this came out, but I did not watch it.
Neither did I.
RE8, right? Let's go. RE8, RE3.
I have not watched this yet, so Colin, I did. What is? Can you give us the synopsis?
So basically, it is after the whole PlayStation kind of reveal of it. Basically, they released this short little video just to basically explain what was really going on with Resident Evil 8, because this basically is continuing after Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, basically to finish up Ethan Winter's story. Basically, it takes place a couple years after Resident Evil 7, goes into here. So basically,
That camera
RE8
angle is so fucking weird. I hate it. Sorry, I just had to say that. It's like not a 45-degree angle. It's like a weird like 20-degree friggin' offset angle that they were using on the guy on the left.
Yeah. So basically they had this developer diary, and basically it was basically explaining that it is the 8th in the series, but it wasn't originally designed as such. Like, this game was actually supposed to be Revelations 3. So, but they realized it was in line with what they wanted for the next one in the series, so here it is, branded as Resident Evil 8 Village. So,
Okay.
And it follows the story of protagonist.
It is interesting. They elaborated a little. What's up, Greg?
It's just odd that they're closing Ethan Winter, like they're making Ethan Winter's story, you know, they're like pointing it out as if like he was gonna have more of a story than what he had in 7, you know, like I don't know. In my mind, at 7, he was just like caught up in this whole shit show.
Pretty much,
you know. And
yeah, it was basically Mia's story.
It's just weird that now he's like the protagonist, but he's also this is also the conclusion. Like it's like I don't know.
There's the tagline in the initial. Yeah, there's a tagline in the initial trailer, like the end. His story comes to a close, which basically everybody's like,
weird.
Is that referring to Ethan or is it referring to Chris Redfield in it? So
I initially thought it was referring to Chris Redfield, but now I'm thinking maybe they're referring to it as if like they're gonna move away from this first person kind of thing. Like maybe since like, well, no, because Chris was they also did Chris's perspective in first person.
In the DLC,
yeah.
But other than that, they also basically were talking about more of the setting, which is very, very interesting to me. And everybody says, yeah, it's supposed to take place somewhere in Europe. But within this dev diary, they kind of show a picture of the inventory.
Yeah.
And basically in the upper right-hand corner right here, look, if you notice that there's a currency.
Yeah. Lei?
And the cool thing about that, I want to say I was searching around, and it's Romanian. It's a Romanian currency. So, you know, with all these werewolves and possibly vampires,
I was gonna say vampires.
It would make sense that
I think they even mentioned that the game takes place in Romania.
Mm-hmm. But also, what I'm more excited as a Resident Evil fan is, are we going to see the merchant again? I would love to see the merchant.
Just a personal wish, yeah.
Yeah, just a personal wish as a fanboy. Or there's like that creepy lady in the trailer. It's like, is that going to be our new merchant?
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah.
Who knows? This is speculation. Also, in this dev diary, they have like that new like emblem that you see like in the trailer and everything. And they said like it has extreme importance. Yeah. It's almost like that fetus with the crow.
Is this what you're talking about?
There it is. That's the one. That's the one. They said like if look at it closely and see. But if you kind of look at like where the shadows fall and everything, it really resembles the Umbrella logo. If you look at it.
Where the shadows fall, where?
Basically where the wings are, and basically it's resembles the Umbrella logo.
Yeah.
So, but also, you know, you have that little that fetus thing, and obviously, basically,
I'm pretty sure that's
children and childbirth is going to have a theme within the game because you know Mia and Ethan have a child, and you know.
That's been an ongoing theme if you think about it. That a child was the theme in the 7th one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I'm interested to see where the story goes. Sure.
I'm super excited for it as well.
Yeah, and they also talk about in this developer diary how they like treated like basically the setting and the mood, which is, that makes a Resident Evil game essentially, or any survival horror. But interesting enough, they said that they're treating the setting as a character.
I was just going to mention that. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. It's like its own entity.
Well, I think that in large part they're probably referring to like the castle and the woods
and the village itself, which the game is titled after.
Yeah.
So basically, that is what's going on within this developer diary. I just can't get enough of talking about this. Definitely one of my top priority games for the new generation. I mean, this one, they have not said anything about cross-platform or anything. They said specifically this version of the RE engine was developed with next-gen consoles in mind. So I'm not too sure if this one's going to be cross-platform or not, guys.
You mean backwards compatible?
Well, either or. I mean, there's a lot of people that are doing, like you get a free upgrade kind of thing. But they do say that it was developed specifically for, like you said, PS5 and
Xbox Series X.
Series X, yeah. I kept wanting to say Scarlet.
But isn't cross-platform when you're playing an online game between, for instance, Xbox and PlayStation?
Cross generation is what we meant.
Okay.
Yeah, Colin, you gonna play that on the channel?
Absolutely. Still waiting to get my RE3 copy because of the whole Corona thing.
You're in Resident Evil purgatory right now.
I am, and it's super painful because it's like my favorite game series. So
yeah,
what are you gonna do? Can't avoid the spoilers forever. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let's start taking bets on what you'll actually get to play first: Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil 3.
I hope it's 3.
Yeah, I hope so too.
The game's been out for a while.
Yep. Well, life is unpredictable. We got a couple more game things, maybe like 2.5 more game things. Greg, maybe you want to talk about this next. We got the Halo teaser. I guess people are calling it a teaser, right? Yeah. Another one that I have not had a chance to watch yet. Well, I scrubbed through it because it's just a teaser, but
basically after a long drought of Halo news, basically for Halo fans, we've heard literally no news about Infinite, and it's like still scheduled to come out later this year.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the Halo fan base is very concerned about the state of this game, and basically this came out of nowhere. Basically confirmed what we had gotten from some leaks, but that the Banished from Halo Wars 2 are going to be like the main enemy faction, or at least one of them, in Halo Infinite. So I haven't played Halo Wars 2, but I know
that was the RTS game, right?
Yeah,
that was a strategy one. Yeah,
yeah, but it's on Game Pass right now, so I'm probably gonna pick it up.
Did you play either of the Halo Wars games, the first one or the second one?
I played some of the first one, but I heard the second one's a lot better. So definitely worth checking out. But basically, this was somebody deciphered some codes out of this and determined that July 23rd, which falls into the Microsoft Summerfest thing.
Yep.
Basically, we're gonna have a big Halo announcement on July 23rd. So this is very minor. It's confirmation that the Banished are going to be in the game.
That they're still working on the game.
That there's still a game there. But hopefully July 23rd we will actually see what Halo Infinite might be.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This definitely reactivated the Halo itch for me. Basically since this came out, I've been wanting to play Halo, and read a bunch of Halo books and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping July 23rd, like, Hills, like, settles that craving. Yeah, need some good Halo news.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
The franchise is hurting too much.
Well, I mean, especially after their showcase, their third-party showcase that they had before, like, this is one of the pillars of the Series X, and it's got to be good. I really hope it is good.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we have any other gaming stuff to talk about, or if that's a good time to roll into the Microsoft event.
Well, that was the other thing I wanted to bring up, the Summer Games Fest.
Future!
Yeah, I don't know who did that, but I thought something was wrong with either my brain or like my computer somehow, and then I was like, oh no, because it does an animation. That's a thing.
This looks
that is an odd stylistic choice, though.
Yes, and it makes us think of the SpongeBob thing where it's like future.
Yeah,
like it just if you read it in your head, that's what you hear.
Regardless of the silly
outside of that.
I'm pretty stoked about this Summer Games Fest, and I think this is really Microsoft's chance to swing back at Sony after everything.
Yeah.
Because real quick aside, Bobby, I got up to your episode where the State of Play trailer takes place. Where you're all oohing and eyeing, and they were playing a way upscaled version of that build because it did not look nearly as good running on your system.
Oh, you're talking about like the first trailer they released, right? At night in the woods.
Am I? No, I'm talking about the one where Ellie was swimming.
Ellie was swimming.
I didn't even know what the hell you were referring to.
Yeah. No, the last two State of Play trailer. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
the one.
Okay, now I know what you're referring to. I thought you were talking about Horizon for a second. I was so confused. No. Okay, yeah. I pointed out, the water. I was like, this does not look as good as it did in the State of Play.
Yeah.
We streamed that off YouTube, right? So there was compression on that video too. So if anything, it should look much better.
No, it was a different build. It was 100% a different build.
What did you think, Brendan? Did you even think anything of it when you played that part?
I briefly thought something. That said, you're playing on a vanilla PS4, right?
Yeah. Even my PlayStation is painted vanilla. It's white.
Well, I was playing on a Pro, so
maybe that had something to do with it.
That probably had something to do with it. I didn't notice it as much. The water stuff, I didn't really notice a difference, but some of the lighting I did notice a little bit.
That main spotlight, that first spotlight.
Yeah, I felt like that was a little different. That said, I don't remember if they said this is running on PS4 because we have been, skeptical that they're going to do the same thing they did last gen with the original Last of Us, that there's going to be a remastered one that's going to come out on PS5. It's pretty much almost guaranteed, and the only reason they haven't said that they're doing that is because it would take away from sales of the original version. The version that just came out. But, if there's really a difference, a discernible difference to the naked eye, then maybe that's confirmation that there's an upscaled version already, just with everything cranked up as far as lighting and, diffusion and liquid
definitely
physics.
Felt like, that felt like real RTX in that State of Play trailer.
Yeah. Because we were gushing about that.
Bobby's gameplay. But there's definitely probably a difference between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. That being said, that is being super nitpicky. But my point is that I think this is the chance for Microsoft to really swing back on a lot of the stuff that Sony did earlier this summer
Mm-hmm.
And mainly just by pitching, by allowing you to play these games, basically is like the whole concept of this event.
Yeah, that's what I'm super. I don't even own a console where I could do that, and I'm super excited about the fact that they're doing that. I mean, I have some concerns, but I'm sure they are totally aware of those themselves. But it's like if we get around the, well, let's expand on what we're saying first of all. They're putting out. They said somewhere between like 60 and like, what was it, 60 and maybe close to 100 demos during the course of this that are going to be playable, but they're basically going to like show up, and then I forget the terminology they used in the report, but it was funny because it was like they said they're going to like evaporate after that. I am pretty sure they're going to be downloads, not just like streamed. So, and they're not like, when we say that they're demos, they're not like traditional demos that have heavily edited code and very strong borders, you know, like most demos really restrict where you can go and what you can pull out of them, whereas these are like practically like show floor demos, which are like almost broken versions of the game.
Like just chopped up dev builds.
Which I've never had the privilege of going to like an E3 or, you know, a show floor where they were doing demos, but I've spoken to enough people that have, and like they've been like, yeah, those demos are typically like they'll crash several times, and you have developers or attendants right there who will reboot it for you or whatever. So the way they're thinking about doing this, of course, they're trying to simulate that show floor experience that we can't have right now because of the state of the universe, in a new way that no one's really ever done before, but that also comes with some, you know, not concerns, but yes, concerns.
I think basically the devs obviously knew about this well in advance and are going to tweak their builds to be more in line with just like a straight up store demo, like a downloadable store demo, as opposed to like a floor build running off of, you know.
I think it's going to fall somewhere in between, because like a real demo, like we were saying, that takes time. Like that does take development time to,
and that's more of like a promotional marketing thing. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, so is this.
It's to let you,
but
right. But either way, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just excited for them to do this. I think this is like nobody's ever really done this. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sure there's going to be crashes and issues, and
people are going to mine the hell out of these demos. Like that's the other thing. Like on the show floor, you just get to pick up the controller and get no closer to that game than that. If these are full on downloads, like you've got that data locally in one of your drives.
People are going to mine the crap out of it.
Oh yeah.
So
that's clean. Yeah, I expect that.
For sure.
But I'm sure so do the devs. And
yeah, that's why I kind of prefaced it with like, yes, there's concerns with this, but I'm sure they've thought of them. It's not like we're like, they totally haven't thought of this. Like they're the friggin' developers. Of course they have. They know.
They know how to do it, you know?
And they might also just be kind of accepting, you know, that risk just to get the game in people's hands.
Yeah, I think, and depending on what they announce, it's going to be a big deal. Like we might be able to go hands on with Halo. It falls that the big announcement falls in line with this whole event. So it's like the big speculation is like, is this going to be big?
Yeah.
Is Halo going to be playable at your home July 23rd? You know?
Yeah.
Could be a main reason why it's been so quiet lately. They have a version that ready to be played.
Wish there was a sub page for the Xbox event, but yeah.
But my main thing is with Microsoft. Halo is a big powerhouse for Microsoft, but
you think?
What else? Yeah, right. But where are the other exclusives? That's what I want to know, because I want to say that's the big thing that Sony has going for it. Is all the exclusivity that's going on with it. So, I feel like for Microsoft, like the past like generation, basically it was back on their 360 kind of IPs. You had basically Halo, you had Gears of War, and else.
We lost part of your audio there. Crackdown.
Yeah, Crackdown. But like Gears of War has always been the big one that I could think of for Xbox.
Yeah, and kind of the problem with some of those too is none of them really felt like there was like one Gears of War entry that was really good, but those main IPs, none of them really were knockouts either. But like honestly, yeah, I want new IPs, and this is the time when we usually get them. We're about to hit a new generation, so yeah, I want to see that showcase, especially with their first party, their first party stuff, their exclusives.
They did put out a list of some of their exclusives that they would be showing off. I don't remember, like the Mafia 3 remaster or something, and
well, that's on multiple platforms.
They remastered all of those.
Yeah. The definitive edition or whatever, or unless they have an actual like next gen remaster specifically for them. But yeah, we got the like package deal recently with the remasters of 1, 2, and then the definitive of 3. But yeah, I mean, they're promising the gameplay debut of Halo Infinite, so they have that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. It's exciting. And yeah, like it's true that Microsoft hasn't had really too many knockout first person or first party entries like Sony has, but you also got to think of like the indie catalog on Microsoft. A lot of indie titles, and
both sides have been pushing pretty hard on that, trying to make it seem like they have the best indie what's the word I'm looking for? Not incentive.
Indie presence.
Like program, like they're trying to foster their indie devs kind of environment. There's a word that would perfectly encapsulate what I'm trying to say, but my brain is banana.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, if you have an Xbox, definitely be on the lookout for some of the games you might be able to play through this event. It's definitely exciting stuff. So
yeah,
I know I'll be on my Xbox seeing what I can download and all the games that I could check out, get my hands on.
Like I said, I don't even have an Xbox, and I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
It could be a, way that, even E3 is presented towards us, have that more, player base.
It would be great for all the people that can't make it to the show floor to finally be able to get hands-on with these, demos that previously people only who were able to make it there had the privilege of trying out, I've always been jealous of people that were like, yeah, I was on the show floor. I already played the CyberPunk, show floor demo. And it's like,
yeah, I was in the closed door demo.
Like, like, sweet, good for you. Great, awesome.
Too, because in this post or in this time of coronavirus,
demonetized.
I keep I find myself talking to random people, and it's just like nothing's gonna go back to the way it was. Like the old ways are Like,
Yeah.
and this is just like one of those things. Like, nobody's gonna go back. Like, they're gonna do these forever now. Like,
yeah, we're setting a precedent for how certain things are just going to be from here forward.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
You know, if I can keep getting booze to go from restaurants, I'm not going to complain.
Booze to go and video game demos straight to our console.
I will never have to leave my house again. I have not had to leave my house, and I never will again.
There we go.
Look on the bright side.
I think we have one more thing to go over.
Oh yeah, the biggest headline of them all. We saved the
Humongous.
best for last. Did someone say Chubbawamba again? There is a Fallout TV show on the way from Amazon.
Oh my god, it's being produced by Amazon.
Yeah, it's an Amazon show.
By
and it's being made. Yep, the two that made Westworld.
Wow, I feel like this is suck.
What?
This is gonna suck. High hopes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kidding about this being the biggest headline, but I feel like I have almost like the most feelings on this. Because like there's so many unknowns, so many ways this could go. People have such mixed feelings on Westworld. Some people think like season 3 was like amazing. Other people think that like it fell apart. Some people love the show. Some people think it's like way too cerebral in like almost like a pretentious sense.
This is a very pretentious show in my opinion. Yeah,
I think it is both. I think it has good moments and bad moments. And it's so weird to think of making a show about, you know, a game series that, like, when you think about Fallout, you don't really think of the story. You think about going out and doing shit, you know?
Yeah, well,
like,
that's
right. That's the wasteland.
Yeah,
it's based on an RPG where the player decides what they want to do. You know, there's like mini stories that you know that you run across and you like encounter. But like,
all I can say is I want to see a fat man in live action.
Yeah, I want to see the super mutant behemoth in live action.
I want to see someone shoot a fat man out of behemoth.
Why is this so loud? Yeah, this is all we have to go on so far. And of course, that's what they went with. Please stand by in the old tube TV.
Yeah.
I don't know this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, that's why I say I feel like I have the most feelings on this, because it's like,
is there a budget announced? Is there?
Nope.
What does the internet feel about this? Like,
I feel like it's all mixed too. You know, again, a large part of that is because there's a lot of mixed feelings on Westworld. Some people love it, some people hate it.
I feel like that is what's throwing me off as well. Like,
that it's coming from the creators of Westworld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this even going to be? Like, really?
Well, that's the thing too. Like, okay, so there's a lot they can draw from. You know, you've got over 100 vaults, each with their own story and experiment behind it, with the exception of the one control vault. Which was the control vault? Didn't you...
The one is the one that you come out of?
I think it's one that you were in. Yeah, but I can't remember what game it was. Wait, wasn't it 76? I think 76 was the control vault. But they didn't do anything weird, they just kind of let them out.
Oh, that's control.
Yeah, like they had to have one vault where they didn't do any weird experiments, and I think it was 76, but I'm not super up on my Fallout lore right now. But yeah, they've got all the vaults with all the different experiments. They've got the like Vaultec crazy evil corporation they could pull from. The cinematic person in me, the person that's like, you know, dealt with like writing and stuff, gives me the impression that they're gonna do they're gonna take inspiration from 4, and that they're gonna jump back and forth between pre-war and post-war.
That makes a lot of narrative sense for TV.
Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna handle like the tone of it. It's so tongue-in-cheek and weird. And yeah, how they're gonna capture like the feel of it when like the biggest part of Fallout is just running around doing whatever the hell you want. They're gonna have to write an original story. I feel like they definitely should not just adapt one of the games.
Oh yeah, no, that is a.
Liam Neeson is on board.
Well, no, he's not. But they should do that. He should play a new character, but like just to stick that in there.
Dad, is that you?
You think they'll do like what they did with the Resident Evil movies, where that has nothing to do with the game?
Well, that was a unique case where it did and it didn't. It was like, here, let's take these characters and just bastardize them.
That's true, yeah.
I think that it's going to take place in the same world. I think they're going to be faithful to the lore. But I think the best idea would be to tell an original story. And I have a feeling, like you were saying, it would make sense for TV, quote unquote, since it's Amazon Prime, but TV for them to jump back and forth between pre-war and post-war.
Give us a new location too. Like, don't tread on where we've been already
like
in the Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't do Vegas. Don't do DC. Like, take us somewhere totally different. Like,
I feel like it would trigger some sort of nostalgia, though, if they were to. You know what I mean?
Well, you could go from you could go. I mean, dude, you could travel. You could pull Last of Us and cross the country.
That's also true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what? I think the world build, like the world building, is there. Like all the lore, there's no need to question like the world building of Fallout.
Yeah.
But it just comes down to like the plot direction and the tone that they're going to take it in. Like what is the end goal? What is this character? How are they going to portray this protagonist, and what's his motive and what's his goal? Is basically what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
And like I'm just hoping that they kind of like tone down their pretentiousness and their cerebralness in their writing.
If they're gonna match the Fallout tone, they kind of have to. Like Fallout does not take itself seriously, at all.
That I want like the dark humor.
There
needs to be. It's not.
It should be a funny show.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, it should be a funny show. Like, I'm trying to think of what serious moments there really are, even in Fallout, and it's like the end of 3, maybe before the expansion, where it's like you're basically sacrificing yourself. But like, other than that, like,
I
don't know. Moira Brown from like 3 is basically the entire like mood that the show should have.
I'm like that kind of like scary, just like stupidness. Like I'm just thinking of that vault that you go in Fallout 3 where everybody is Gary.
Yes, yeah. That fuck.
Like,
now I'm like, okay, that needs to be in the show.
That needs to be an episode, right?
Yeah, like your guy walks in and you're just like walking around the vault and you just hear people like Gary. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Oh god, yeah, there's so many funny ones. So many weird ones.
There's one random thing that I'll never forget. There was one a vault dweller in a random vault you go in Fallout 4. He had nearly the exact same name as me. His name was Bobby DeLuca.
Like one letter shy.
One fucking letter shy. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was like, what? That's me. It's almost me.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, again, that's the thing. They've got like vaults all across the country, each one with a unique story to pull from. They could share some of that from the game. The only way they're going to get a character that is alive both at the pre-war and post-war is going to be the same vault that the protagonist in 4 was in, and then they have to change something because everyone inside that vault died. Spoilers, except for your protagonist and maybe one other person, but who knows about that.
Game's been out for years.
So yeah, I don't know if it's going to be like multiple characters with like a portrait of the world before, and then afterwards focusing on 2 different groups of characters or whatever. I don't know how they're going to handle it. If they get too into the politics of the pre-war, then they might get a little too in their own heads and make that cerebral or whatever. I hope that doesn't happen.
Only time will tell, as Colin would say.
Oh, they need to get Hellboy. What the hell? What's the actor's name?
Oh yeah. What is his name?
Sons of Anarchy, Hellboy.
Tell you right now. Pause.
Big Chin.
Big Chin. They need to get Big Chin. Big Chin, deep voice.
Yeah. The Chin, the Crimson Chin.
Come on, Bobby. Who is it? I'm gonna think
Ron
of it.
Perlman.
Damn it! Yes. All right, thank you. Ron Perlman is a necessity. They do need to get Ron Perlman. In fact,
just have him narrate the whole fucking thing.
Yes, yes, that is the one. If they're gonna make one, like, concession to the players, that needs to be it. Like, I feel like they don't need to do the whole like pandering thing of like, look, this was in the game, remember? Like, I hate that shit. But Ron Perlman
this
doing
doesn't
voiceover.
start out with "War Never Changes," it's fucked.
It's not canon.
You're not. I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
Done.
Not canon. Cancelled.
I want to see super mutants.
I just want to see the protagonist go on a killing spree listening to Atom Bomb Baby.
Yeah. Yeah, the music is going to be huge, of course.
Or Butcher Pete.
Yeah.
I think it would be great if we get basically a side story about a fucking murderer named Butcher Pete. I think that would be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
If they go on like a subplot about that, explore some of that darker lore that's out there in the Fallout universe.
Yeah, but still do it with the tongue-in-cheek kind of comedic,
the humor,
thing that they approach with it. It's like it really is like a dark comedy of the whole thing.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
And if I have to add one more tidbit, the theme music for the show should be "Set the World Afire" by the Ink Spots. Or Megadeth.
Megadeth, yeah. Yeah, no, as long as there's no like as long as there isn't a moment where the protagonist is like crying in a corner to Johnny Guitar and like we have that kind of tone, I'll be happy. As long as we don't have that. You can play Johnny Guitar, but it needs to be to something that contrasts in a funny way.
I just like to see like power armor in live action. I imagine that'd be CG, but
well, that's why I think that's what prompted Greg to ask about the budget too.
Oh yeah,
like how
I don't want the power armor to be the ATST in the Mandalorian. Like,
why you gotta say these things?
I didn't see the Mandalorian. What do you mean?
I can't really spoil it, but
I'll never see the Mandalorian. I'm not getting Disney Plus.
Spoiler alert, the ATST in the Mandalorian sucks.
Oh. It's spoiled.
Spoiled it.
Is there a release date for, or like, an air date for the show?
I don't think so. I think there might be a year attached to it.
2021.
2021 for the Fallout TV show.
So it's expected in 2021 or later, obviously, but yeah.
Everything is canceled or delayed.
Earth is canceled. When we were like pre-show talking about the few things we were going to talk about, I remember, Greg, you were like, will this also be in development hell forever? Which is totally a possibility. Like anything attached to a game tends to be. I'm amazed that they made the Witcher series as fast as they did. Like,
And it was good.
That said, that's based on the novels, not the games, so that's probably why.
True.
Still,
But there was definitely influence from the CD Projekt Red games in that.
Yeah, there's definitely references
in the show.
there. Yeah, this might be in development hell forever. Remember how The Last of Us 1 had a movie coming out?
Yep.
Oh, it did, didn't it? Forgot all about that.
Still in development hell, I think.
I thought they canned that fucking project.
I think
I'm sure they canned it 3 times and somebody bought it 4 times, and
I think Druckmann was trying to direct it or something, or trying to at least be like exec produce on it. But
he said, I'm gonna stick to video games.
It was more like, hey, I got this video game to make, I might as well focus on that. They're making me make a second one. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, Fallout TV show. Let's just recap on everything we talked about. 30-minute missions, we're working on those. Those are going to be coming soon. We're going to do a video on that. They're
Last
in
of
progress.
Us 2 Let's Play.
Yep, Last of Us 2 Let's Play has been completed. Not fully uploaded yet, but we've beaten it. Two out of the group have beaten it. We're going to do a dedicated Gcast on that coming up soon. Once we've all completed it, seen it, whatever, have our feelings sorted out, have stopped crying, we will discuss that game and everything we love / hate about it.
I'm gonna cry like a bitch in it. I know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Goes without saying. That you will cry. Yeah, and then, okay, so for what we talked about in the show, we had the Unicorn EX, Master Grade, Fairca, all the words associated with that one kit.
Many words.
Yeah.
Many.
That none of us will be getting because we're poor. As awesome as it looks, but it also got packed schedule of things coming out. But it does look cool. After that, I mean, the SH Monster Art stuff, we talked about that. We had the
reason I'm broke.
Yeah. The title of your autobiography, The Reason I'm Broke.
Bandai.
Yeah, so Biollante, 2001 Godzilla, the recolors of both of those. We got the Monster Hunter stuff. The Rathalos, the
Nargacuga.
The bat, the big bat. Yep, Nargacuga.
Bad guy.
The Batman T-Rex. Which we're not getting.
Awesome.
Also, yeah, we're not gonna get that though. We didn't talk about that, so that doesn't get talked about now. Yeah, Night City Wire we talked about. Brain Dance. Can't wait to play that game. Have the collector's edition pre-ordered on my end, so I will be playing that on the channel. I'll probably end up like a skeleton sitting down here just playing that for like 120,000 hours. Yeah, so on the note of developer diaries, we had Resident Evil, we had the Halo teaser, Resident Evil developer diary, Halo teaser, the Summer Games Fest talk, the Fallout TV show. That was everything.
That was a good talk.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff.
We did.
But no, dude, it's been a minute since we talked and had a Gcast like this, so it's good to come back and talk about some good stuff, some stuff coming up and stuff we're excited about. So, but yeah, like you said, you already covered it. We're going to be back at the end of the month with the spoiler cast for Last of Us, and we'll probably cover the Summer Games Fest somehow, and yeah, we'll be around.
Yep. Keep an eye out for the ending of the Bobby's playthrough on The Last of Us 2. And then, yeah, we have Ghost of Tsushima coming out the middle of this month. I'm going to try and play that. Scott dead?
Who knows, man?
Did he get a kit ever for the 30-minute
No.
mission? No?
No.
All right. Never mind. Forget I even mentioned him.
Other silly things.
Oh yeah, silly things. Yeah, good moment to mention. If you hit our $5 or above Patreon tier, you get to hear about the things Scott spends his money on. It's actually in a bound book. Also comes with glow-in-the-dark stickers. I'm promising things we can't deliver on.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming for our second Gcast. It's been too long.
Thank you for being a friend.
If you like what you saw, don't forget to smash the shit out of the like button and subscribe and get the bell on. I can't speak, and if you watch my Let's Play, you'll know I can't read either.
No, you just learned to read.
All right.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and all that other stuff too. You can follow me at ColinMac57. I normally post my completed builds and stuff there too. This is shameless plug time. But here we go. If you guys want to see like my completed models and all that stuff, it's going to be available there first. And then follow us, talk to us, message us, do whatever.
Follow us on social. If you build, tag us. We'll shout you out.
Talk shit about your builds. You can talk shit about ours.
Grandpa's freedom. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, people.
G-Sides out.
Bye, guys.
G-Sides over and out.
Wow.